guys, it's Rose. Welcome back to Journals in Time, and welcome if you're new. So today I am working on a little project for the challenge, the mini challenges over on the Rach and Bella Facebook group, Trading Post with Rach and Bella Crafts. And this month, for the month of June, we are working on flip straps and folds for journals that you take out and about, or pieces from your journals that you take out and about with you on your travels if you're going on trips and things like that, that they are handy to store stuff and maybe kind of write notes and things like that. So for today, I was playing with envelopes, as you do, and this is what we are going to make. So we have a little envelope pocket here at the front, and then we open it and we have another pocket in here. We have a flippy notebook, and on the back we have a little bit of decor. Now I'm making 3 different ones of these today, and I'm making them all slightly different, okay? Now I'm actually re-recording this part of the video, and I had made this one on the video previously, but the file got corrupted. So we have here a little square envelope, our pocket in the front, lovely lady, flippy notebook in here, our pocket, and on the back we have another pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and remake that with my own steamship voyage kit. And then when I've done this one, we will go on and see the original part of the video for the other 2 makes. I know, it's all a bit up in a heap, but it's okay. We'll get there. Okay, so we have another square envelope here. And I have taken a sheet of music paper, a sheet of music paper, and this, as you can see, comes from the centerfold. Okay, so I've just used that to fit it over my envelope like so. Now I have deliberately left a piece at the top and the bottom. I want this to look like, I don't want this to look like it is all one piece. I want it to look like it's layered. I think it looks a lot more interesting like that, and yeah, just fun. Okay, so we have that piece, and I have left this piece on the original one. I just left it as one sheet, but I have actually left this piece long and folded it over, so we have another fold out here. So we're going a little bit more fancy on this one, I guess. Okay, so that is that. Now with this one as well, I want to cover the flap of my envelope. So I'm going to put my pieces over here out of our way, and I'm going to put this piece over here, and we're going to work on this. So I'm taking a sheet of the backing papers from my kit, and I am just going to cover the flap and this surface of the envelope. Okay, so I'm going to get on and do that, and I'll be right back to you guys. Okay, so that's that part done. Now just a word of warning: when you cover your envelope, if you do go ahead and cover your envelope like this on the flap, this gummed part here is going to activate, the glue is going to activate, so you don't want to be pressing that down on anything, okay? Just a word of warning, because I did get caught with that on the last one. You can see where the ink lifted off my image here. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, we need to get this piece stuck down. Now you could go inking this and all the rest of it. I've decided that I don't want to ink on these, but if you want to ink and things like that, now would be the time to do it. Just trying to get that situated in there, trying to get it situated as equidistant as possible, top and bottom. Now I have noticed that when I cover these envelopes with the paper on the back, they kind of go a little bit wonky, and I don't know why, but it throws all the lines off. But it's not too bad, it will be okay. Okay, so let's get this down. Now when you're gluing this, you want to make sure that you're not gluing any part of this V. You want to make sure that you're getting right up to these edges, but not inside this V. Okay, so to do that, I'm actually going to glue that shut anyway for a start, but I am going to put my glue on my envelope as opposed to on my paper. Okay, okay, so we have our piece glued into place. It still flips open very nicely. I'm just going to get that glue off of there. Et voila. Okay, so now we want to get our image on the front here. And I have taken one of the images. They're journal cards in the kit, and they have a border around the edge. But I have taken it and I've just trimmed out the lace edge here. Now it is slightly higher, very slightly higher than my music paper. I'm totally okay with that. And the other one, the image fit inside it, which looks pretty good too. So I'm going to get this down, but I also want to just get some layering going on over here as well, just to not have it so bare here as well. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like in the end. We'll have all that trimmed off. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little tip with this piece here before I put that down. So you can see how this is coming out over the edges of my music paper. Now I don't want it to come out over the edges of my music paper. A lot of the times you would want that, and it looks pretty cool, but in this instance I don't. So I am going to just use one of these little ball tools, and I'm just going to run it along the edge there and score it. Okay, and this is also a good way to keep your positioning of your pieces. It can help you to mark your piece so that when you pick it up and glue it, get the glue on it, you know exactly where to cut and where to position it back. And I will show you that right now. So I'm going to cut those pieces off. So when I get my glue on here, I will know that I have to match up those two cuts. Okay, and it will go back exactly in the position that I want it. Okay, I'm going to get on with gluing these down into place, and I'll be right back to you guys. Okay, so that's what we have right now, and there's our pocket. Loving that. Pretty pretty. Okay, so on the back I have decided that I am going to have a pocket, but I am also going to reinforce this fold here because the paper cracked slightly when I was folding it. So I'm going to get this laid down here first. I could use washi tape here, but I quite like these border strips that I have in the kit, so I'm using one of those. I want to make sure that that folds nicely. There we go. And this is the piece that I want to use for the pocket. Now, I'm just going to leave that flap out so that it doesn't get stuck to anything. This is the piece that I want to use for the pocket. And as you can see, this is slightly too long. So I'm just going to trim it down. And it has kind of nice lines on it that I can just trim that to there, which is very handy. Yeah, and that's perfect. So I'm just going to glue the three sides. I could have put gussets on this, but I don't think it needs it. It's just supposed to be a little slip pocket to keep receipts and things like that. So I'll get a bit of glue along three sides and pop that into place. Okay, of sauce. And next thing we're doing, we're looking at the inside pieces. Now I'm going to have to try and remember what I had decided in here. Oh yeah. Okay, so I was thinking that I would make a little tuck spot here with this. I'm just going to get this inked up. I know I said I wasn't going to ink, but the ephemera pieces themselves do need inking. Okay, so I've gotten my image glued down in here. I have my tuck spot glued down back here. That is not dry yet, so I'm going to leave it alone. And I'm just getting my vellum pocket glued down on the inside. Now, I say vellum, this isn't really vellum. It's kind of a plastic paper, I think, as opposed to vellum. But it does the same thing. It's see-through and all the rest of that. I have embossed it with an embossing folder, and I have inked it with Distress ink, but as we know, Distress ink doesn't like to dry on plastic, so I was giving it a rub there with some tissue just to take off the excess ink. It had been sitting for a little while and there was still quite a bit of ink to come off of it. I didn't want it transferring onto here. It possibly still will, but there's not that much left on it now anyway. Okay, so we have our little gusseted pocket. Now, like I said, vellum paper embossed, and I've just gusseted it and put a thumb notch in here, and I'm going to put that straight down in here. And voila! Okay, one or two more little things to do. Looking good, or it would be looking good if we had it the right way around. What have I done? There we go. Turning it all the way, all backwards. Okay, so there we have our pocket on the back, our little fold out, and that's that. Pocket in here. Now, on this side, I want to put a scrappy notebook, so I'm going to go ahead and gather some scrappy bits and pieces, and I'll be back. Okay, so I have put together a couple of scrappy bits and torn the edges to make it look all nice and, you know, scrappy. And you may have noticed this page here. This is actually a page from an old passport of mine. And I just tore out the pages and tore this one down, and I think it works perfectly in here. Got nice pink and blue colours, and it's a little bit of Ireland in there. It's all about travel and things like that as well, so you know, it works. That's not going to want to stay sitting down for me. My tuck spot may be a fail, we'll see. Anyway, for now we are going to get this glued down. I'm going to just glue the top of it onto the backing, and then we're going to find something to put across the top to hide those staples. I just felt like doing easy today, so I used staples. And you know, you could leave the staples as well if you want to. You don't have to hide them, but I like to hide them. It's another opportunity to go messing with decorating as well, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so what do we want across the top? Now, I used lace on one and I used fabric, and I think this lace is quite evocative of the sea and things, so I'm thinking I might use that. Now I'm just going to be putting it across the width of this first page, and it has the added bonus that it will hide these kind of modern looking black lines and things. So yeah, I think I will do that. Okay, we have it done. I'm just wondering, do I want to put something here? I think it will just take away from this here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. On one of the other ones, I have used a wax seal. So let's have a quick look at one or two of these. I'm not going to pull them all out because I know they won't all work, and I've probably used up the ones that would work, so but we'll have a look. There's one here that has, so that's very, very bright. It's completely off with that pink. There was another one that would have worked perfectly here, but I have used it on one of the other ones. No. Okay, not a wax seal either. I think I will leave it, and I will figure out at some other point if I want to put something there. But you can see on this one where I've used one, and this was ideal because it wasn't the perfect round, as in it would have been ideal for here, I think, because it wasn't a perfect circle, but I like the organic look of that. Yeah, so I really like that. That one is going into my Spring Fresh journals, made with my Spring Fresh kit. Loving that. So yeah, so that is that one, and let's get on to the original part of the video where I'm showing you the other ones that I've made. So this was in lieu of this one. We've done a very, very similar job here with the images on the front. Our scrappy notebook. We have our vellum pocket in here. This one has the added addition of this flap here. So I've just put an image on here and an attempted tuck spot, a wannabe tuck spot. It may not work out, judging on how it's going there, we'll see. And on the back we have a pocket on this one and a pocket on this one. Okay, so on to the other ones. So the next one I'm going to do is, again, done in a slightly different way, using one of the regular envelopes. A piece from the kit. Now the piece that I'm using from the kit, it was one of these pieces. You know, that it gets folded up into an envelope, and I've just cut the top and the bottom off of it to use it in here. So that's that, and I have another piece cut to the same height as my ephemera piece here, and I have left it so that there's a little fold over on here, and it is as wide as the back, but because I had enough scope to do it, and you can see I messed up here, but I'm okay with that, I have also left enough room for it to fold over and make a pocket on this side. Okay, so that's how we're going to have our pocket on this one. So let's get making this one up. We're going to get this on here. And I'm not going to bring it right to that fold. I'm going to leave a little bit of a lip for myself, just because it's easier and it actually looks better, I think. So there's a tiny little piece just left there. It's not right up to that edge, and I think that that actually looks much, much better than if I put it all the way to the edge. So just a little tip for you guys. Okay. So that is that. And again, we're going to do the same process that this is essentially now the same as the music paper piece that we had in the last one, in this area. So we're going to do the very same thing. I'm going to glue it all the ways down, just making sure that I'm not gluing this shut, okay? Okay, so I slightly messed up my gluing process there. I moved it a little too high that way, but you know, it is handmade. Okay, so that is our piece on. Now let's get our pocket here sorted. Now I am going to ink that a little tiny bit just because I want it to stand out against that get our pocket glued into place. Now you can actually you could sew on these as well if you wanted to, by all means. And voila, that is that one. I'm really not happy with my cutting here. It looks all crooked. Yeah, but no matter, I will just remake this at some point, I'm sure. Oh yeah, so our scrappy notebook. Now I've just realised that I'm actually making all of my scrappy notebooks very square. So let's have a little tear here and there. Get a piece of lace or something like that over the top. Now I'm thinking that I might cut this in half and use this. Now, there are lots of ways to do these scrappy notebooks and to hide the tops and all the rest. This is just the way I'm doing it today. So, do I want it that way or do I want it that way? And there we have a second one. Oh, I have nothing on the back of this, so I want to decorate up the back of this one. Let me find something. Okay, so we've decorated up the back a little bit. Again, you can do whatever you want on this. This is just what I'm feeling today. So we have our pocket, and again, another thing you could do here, you could put a panel down here. I quite like this paper, and it's got a kind of a metallic shimmer to it as well, which you can see on camera, but it is beautiful in real life. And on the flap, I am thinking some stamping might look good. I think this might call for a little heat embossing. Yep, I'm going to go heat embossing this and I'll be right back to you guys. Okay, so we have a little something something on the flap and I really like this. Looking good. And I'm going to get my wax seal down here. Now, I don't know if you can see, of course you can see, what am I saying? I put little paper discs on the back of my wax seals if I'm playing and just making them on their own. I'll put the little paper discs and then I'll put the wax and then stamp it, and that means that we have a nice surface to glue, because I used to struggle wondering how to glue them and then I just thought, well, don't be so silly. Okay, so I'm going to get this glued down. And there we have it, guys. Another flippy notebook in here, our pockets, and a pocket in here. Okay, so that is number 2. So that's what we have so far. Awesome. 2 different shapes, 2 different sizes. Loving it. And last but not least, we have this one over here. So this is, and as you can see, I have all my decorative bits ready to go there as well. This is a book page envelope that I made a long time ago. It was hanging around in my stash. Now, when I went to actually prep for this video, the paper on this envelope started falling apart, so I've just reinforced it with masking tape. Okay, and I'm going to use it. Okay. So I have a piece of one of the kit pages here, and I'm going to do the very same process that we did with the other ones. I'm going to glue this down to this. Now with this one, we have our envelope is going straight across, so we have a much easier time with the gluing. But again, I have left it slightly short. I've left this piece slightly short so that it can be seen that there's something behind it, that this isn't this actual piece. And I just, like I said, think that looks more interesting. So I'm going to get that glued down. And voila. That's that. Sure it's not getting, yep. And on this one, I have decided that I'm going to put this piece of doily, that it's just a scrap piece that I had floating around in my craft room. So I'm going to get this glued down here. Now that is going to prove quite delicate for me to get that down there, but I'm going to do it. And the glue that I'm using is quite thick, so... But we'll manage, we'll get it glued on. Okay, so we have our doily piece down. Now I want to put that there, and I think that was what I had decided, up there. Okay, now I think I might actually leave this piece open as a pocket. You don't have to, you could just decorate the front of this again. But I'm just playing as always. Okay, so we have the front of our envelope decorated, and we have a little pocket in here. I'm loving it. I'm not loving the fact that this envelope, you can see that there is a little hole here. Not enjoying that, but I will figure out a way to fix that at some point. And on the inside, I have again one of these vellum pockets, and I left it quite large. Now this vellum type paper, I'm not calling it vellum because it's not truly vellum, to be honest. It's a vellum type paper as far as I'm concerned, but it doesn't really take the ink very well. I'm going to give it a quick run over with some vintage photo just to kind of help that design stand out a little bit more. Okay, and let's get that glued into place. Okay, and on the back of this one I am just going to put this piece, and I'm going to let it fall off the edge just as a decor piece. So I know throughout the video I've been saying the kit, the kit, the kit, and the kit I am referring to is the kit that is associated with these challenges over in the Facebook group. It is the Healing Hollyhocks kit by Rach and Bella Crafts. I will put a link to it below. And just so you're aware, if you go over to the group, there is also some freebies for the challenge. That is the 3 that we made today. Or those are the 3 that we made today, and this is the sample one that I had shown you guys. Okay, so that's that one. We have this one, we have our pocket in here, and our flippy notepad, pocket back here, and pocket back here. Now, as you can see on this one, I have decorated the front page of this, and you can do the very same thing on these ones. You can put a piece of decor on there or stamp it or something just to make it look pretty, but I think they're more functional this way if they're to be taken out in a handbag or something on your travels. You have your 4 pieces of paper here. I guess you could add another piece of paper for decorative purposes. Okay, so that's that one. Then we have this one. Yeah, this one. And we have our pocket in here, our lovely decorated flap, flippy notebook, side pocket, and some decor on the back. And for the last one, we have our pocket in here as always. And we have our, I forgot to do the flippy notebook, we have our pocket here and just a little piece of decor on the back. Tall pocket here on this one. I'm going to very quickly get that scrappy notebook in there. Okay, so we have a scrappy notebook in there as well. I love them. Okay, that is it for me for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not sure when my next video will be out. It will either be Wednesday or next Sunday. And until then, have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye.